Long ago, humanity lived in a world where monsters only existed in legends. But everything changed on one ordinary day. The sky cracked open, mysterious portals appeared above cities around the world, and terrifying creatures descended upon humanity. Governments collapsed, cities were destroyed, millions of people lost their lives. But in the middle of despair, a miracle happened. Humanity awakened. A mysterious system appeared before every survivor, granting them the power to choose their own path. Some became powerful warriors, some became legendary mages, others received rare abilities that could change the future of humanity. Everyone believed that the awakened would become the new hope of the world. Everyone, except Kael Veyron. Kael was an ordinary 18-year-old boy who had always lived in the shadow of others. While everyone dreamed of becoming heroes, Kael only wanted to survive in this dangerous new world. When his turn came during the awakening ceremony, everyone waited to see what powerful ability he would receive. But the result shocked everyone. Class obtained: Dungeon Master. Rank: F. A useless class. A class with no combat ability. A class that could not compare to even the weakest warrior. The hall that was once filled with excitement became filled with laughter. The people who once stood beside Kael quickly abandoned him. To them, he was no longer a potential hero. He was just another person who would eventually die. But they didn't know, the ability they called useless was actually something far more terrifying. Because while heroes could destroy monsters, a dungeon master could create an entire world. After being rejected by everyone, Kael entered the ruined world alone. With no powerful weapon, no allies, and no hope. But during a dangerous encounter with monsters, his hidden power finally awakened. A mysterious system appeared before him. Dungeon Master ability activated. Create your first dungeon. Deep beneath the ruined world, an ancient dungeon core began to glow. And at that moment, the weakest human in the world gained the power to create the strongest dungeon. This was the beginning of Kael Veyron's journey. The journey of the last dungeon master of humanity. After awakening his hidden ability, Kael found himself deep beneath the ruined world. Surrounded by darkness and ancient stone walls, he discovered something impossible. A mysterious blue crystal floated in front of him. The dungeon core, the source of his new power. Unlike other awakened abilities that focused on fighting, Kael's power allowed him to create. But there was one problem. His dungeon was nothing more than an empty underground room. No defenses, no resources, no allies, only a weak beginning. The Dungeon Master system began explaining his ability. Unlike heroes who gained weapons and skills, Kael had to build everything from nothing. He could create rooms, strengthen his dungeon, and slowly expand his territory. But his current dungeon was far too weak. If enemies discovered this place, he would have no way to survive. However, Kael had already learned one thing from the apocalypse. The weak survive by adapting. And he was ready to turn this useless ability into something powerful. Then the system revealed his first option. A monster summon. Kael expected something powerful, a creature that could defend his dungeon. But the result was disappointing. Summon available: weak goblin. Rank: F. The weakest monster. A creature that even ordinary humans could defeat. For a moment, Kael wondered if everyone was right. Maybe his ability really was useless. But instead of giving up, he decided to test its true potential. A flash of light appeared inside the dungeon. From the magic circle emerged a small goblin. It looked weak. It had no powerful weapons, no impressive abilities, just a frightened creature standing before Kael. But unlike the humans who abandoned him, this monster did not look at him with disappointment. It simply waited for his command. For the first time since the awakening, Kael wasn't alone. As Kael explored his new dungeon, he began to understand something. A dungeon was not built by strength alone. It needed planning, resources, and most importantly, a team. The goblin that everyone would ignore became Kael's first companion. The first member of the civilization he would eventually create. The world believed monsters were enemies. But Kael was about to discover the truth. Sometimes the creatures called monsters were the ones who would stand beside you when everyone else left. And this was only the beginning of the last dungeon master's journey.